Brody, culinary host for YourTown with Art of Food. My guest today is Richard Supat, General Manager and Produce Specialist for Russo's Produce. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you, Wendy.
We've worked together. This is such a treat, and I want people to know that behind all of the chef world, you are there at the foundation. You are part of us, and most people don't know that there is, like, behind every good woman there's a man, or behind every good man is a woman. You are our person.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you.
But tell us a little bit about your background and what it means to be a produce specialist. What is that definition?
Well, I was raised in the produce business. My family, we were growers in Stockton, California. We were walnut and cherry growers. And my grandfather and my grandparents were migrants from Hawaii. We came over here and bought a ranch. And I was raised on that ranch. Born and raised with the ethic of good working ethics. My father was a Korean veteran, but he was also in the agriculture business. He was program supervisor for the state of California in the wine grape industry.
Wow.
At a time when it was just starting out here. And he's seen all of this grow now, and now that he's in his, he's 80 years old, and when he comes out here and he sees how everything has flourished, you know, he was at the beginning of it all. And, you know, my father inspired me a lot. He taught me that working in the agriculture business was a good thing. I wasn't really familiar with it, other than the fact that it was a family business for us.
Uh-huh.
So he encouraged me to follow up with the state of California, and I got my licenses and finished pretty high up there in as far as getting the choice to where to go. When I finished my examination, they transferred me to Southern California, where I was part of the avocado certification program.
Wow.
And I did that for a few years, and then I got approached by a company in Los Angeles called G&G Produce in LA. And my mentor, Lloyd Legier, who now lives here at Ryan Ranch and works for ProAct, encouraged me to work with chefs. I didn't know anything about it, but he thought and told me and encouraged me and inspired me. He says, "Hey, look at Richard, I don't care if you had one client or zero. I think you're going to be good in this business, and we'd like you to come on board." So that was my initiation into Los Angeles food service. And I did that for like 22 years in Southern California.
And then how did we get you up here? Because you have been named Produce Purveyor of the Year for our American Culinary Federation local chapter. I mean, you are just so important to us.
It was there was a lady who was very inspirational in my career early when I started working in Los Angeles. She told me my knowledge about the produce industry. She thought that it was important for me to be part of the American Culinary Federation, so that way I could see how what my job does and how it interfaces with chefs, what chefs are requiring today. So with that being said, I've been involved with the American Culinary Federation for over 30 years. Been voted Purveyor of the Year 5 times, twice in Los Angeles, once in Arizona, and 2 times here in Monterey. But I love it all.
Oh,
I mean, as much as my chefs are passionate about what they're doing, I'm very passionate about it as well. And I'm part of their culinary team, and that's how I view it. But one of the most important lessons I think I learned was when I got the opportunity to service the Beverly Hills Hotel, the chef brought me in and asked me if I cared about what I was doing. Here I am, a produce man, and he goes, "Listen, this is how what you do interfaces what I do. You have to care about my guests, and you have to care about what we're doing here. The maturity, the quality, the availability. This is your responsibility, Richard, and you have to make absolutely sure that you're doing your job, and I'm not having to do it for you." So that was a heck of an experience, and understanding that ultimately I have to satisfy his guests, in his hotel.
Oh, that's so important. And I remember in the early days, many, many years ago, and fresh out of culinary school, we were taught to have 3 produce people that we call, and you call up and you get the bids for each one, and you call in your order by hopefully a reasonable hour the night or late afternoon before. And then delivery people came, and you never even got to know your produce person. And then I had an opportunity to go to the produce show here one year and work it. And I saw produce that I've never seen before. And I realized, besides, I thought at the time, how do chefs get to know about that? Because the produce people at that time really didn't want chefs telling them what to do or how to package it or anything. Now that's not the attitude anymore. They realize we go hand in hand. And by having someone like you, and as you said, you're part of a team, we have a special person to go to, and you always give us the best price you can, but you let us know about things that we never knew existed.
That's that's my specialty, and that's why no longer are we a vegetable peddler anymore. Potatoes and onions, it's gone well beyond that, because now we're working in a time where we're working with a skilled individual chef. The chef now is more skilled, more educated about what they're doing now. And as a produce specialist, you have to be involved with that aspect as well. Produce is a very important ingredient for a lot of the chef's dishes, the things that they are preparing. So I have to make absolutely sure that I'm keeping my chef involved and informed about, number one, seasonality, availability, quality and condition, what's coming new, what are the trends that are coming up, so my chef can be creative. But also, I have to be concerned and be aware of the flavor profile, because flavor profiles are very important for my chefs. They don't like to use a lot of ingredients that will hide the natural flavors of some of the products that I'm introducing to him. One of the things I like to do right now to keep my chefs involved and to tighten up that relationship between the growers and my chef is I'm taking them all to the ranches now, the farms. And this is something that I find really important for them, because now they put a face behind where these specialty carrots are coming from, where these duck eggs are coming from, where is this goat milk coming from. All these different ingredients that are coming back that were old time are coming back now, like heirloom tomatoes. But once my chefs get to meet these growers, meet these farmers and ranchers, now we got a different relationship here. Now it's more personal.
And I notice on menus nowadays they'll say such and such from Swank Farms or such and such from another farm. And I remember you took our chapter on a field trip, and it was incredible. We went to an aqua farm. Anyway, what do we have in our area that we should be aware of?
Most part for my chefs?
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a candy store. This is it. Everything that's around you, people are begging for, like in Arizona or out of this area. I mean, we have so much available to us in this place. And this is why I was so fortunate, and God blessed me with me almost retiring my years here in Salinas in the Monterey County, because this is truly an area that just flourishes in fresh produce, creative produce, just beautiful things. Squash blossoms. When you see those squash blossoms, if you see the same squash blossom in LA, it'll look different in LA than it does here because of the strength and how it's cut here and how it's taken care of here. So everything out of this area is just perfect for a lot of my chefs, and I'm really proud when I go out and I take a chef to a ranch and he gets to see the strength of the product and how it looks, how it's supposed to look, picked like hours before he gets to put his hands on it. It's exciting for him. It's exciting and rewarding for me that I know that I gave my chef a good piece, and he's excited about it.
Yeah, I can't tell you how special going to the mushroom farm was and seeing how the mushrooms grow locally here. Just, it's all coming back to me, but we need to go more and more. It's just so special. One of the things that is so difficult for me, being a Californian, is the seasonality, because everything's always available pretty much, and so we aren't as aware, unless you've grown things yourself, which I haven't, other than some edible flowers and tomatoes. And having somebody like you that can really let us know what is in season here and when it is. And the other thing I learned one time, you think romaine is romaine is romaine. No, all the different varieties that have to be planted between here and Arizona for, to keep the crop in the grocery stores or in your supplies. So I'm just in constant overwhelm with the broadness of your knowledge.
I think one of the things that I have always emphasized is I like talking and communicating with my chefs direct. When I get to talk to them, I get to know exactly what they're looking for. I can advise them what's available, the availability of it, the condition of it, and whether it's going to be, and the flavor profile, whether it's a good time for us to use this particular product right now. But it's also my responsibility to let my chef know, hey, look at chef, we're getting asparagus, like just right now as we speak, asparagus, English peas, fava beans, all the spring vegetables are starting to come in. This is the best time to buy them, because now we're getting it at the beginning of the crop, and the only thing that's going to happen is it's going to get cheaper, because as it gets more into season, the flavor profile improves, the cost of the product comes down, the supply is good out there, and you're doing your guests a great a service when you're able to offer them something that's in season and more local. Now, the only thing that we can't provide is local pineapple yet, and local bananas and local mangoes. Those are the only tropical things that we're unable to provide at this particular point. But going into berries, you got the best berries around town.
Oh, yes.
And we're getting into our berry season. So this is the most exciting part of the year, because now everything starts to come in a little bit more. And it starts with the spring. Now we're going to get into our spring merchandise, and then we're going to start getting into our stone fruit a little bit more. So this is an exciting time for the produce industry and for us to work with our chefs, because now we have just so much we can offer them. And the price point is good. Flavor profile is excellent on these items coming up.
That's so great. It really is. Now, besides, as you said, the vegetable peddler, which you are not, you've had to source some very interesting products, and you mentioned duck eggs. Tell us the story.
Well, the chef at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, Chef Matt Bowden, very creative chef.
Yes, he is.
And him and I have worked on some projects, and I owe him a lot of gratitude for some of the things that he's given me liberty to work with. Number one, he's gone out and he's asked me, Richard, I need duck eggs. So it's up to me to go out and find duck eggs for him. So we found a farmer and rancher in Tres Pinos, Evergreen Acres. She does goat. She has goat milk, goat kefir, goat feta, and she's one of two certified goat farmers here in California, or ranchers. She also does duck eggs, which are excellent. So we get a lot of duck eggs from her for the Monterey Bay Aquarium as well. Chef Matt is an incredible, creative individual, and he has me doing a lot of different projects for him. Like now he wants me to find him chickens, find a chicken, somebody that'll raise his chickens, so that way he can give them their feed. But I think one of the most important things that Chef Matt and I accomplished was this sustainable program.
Oh, yes, tell us about that. That's a huge thing right now.
This was really important because when Chef first came here, he wanted to eliminate as much cardboard possible going into the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And he started with his produce purveyor. He asked me, Richard, can we eliminate this cardboard? So I went and investigated it, and what we came up with is we got some growers to participate in packing directly into our recycled containers, which collapse. They're plastic containers that collapse to about 1 inch in height. And we repack all our produce in that, and we deliver it. We get back our containers, and we sanitize them, and then we repack them again with this produce. So we've eliminated almost 32,000 pounds of cardboard in 1 year going into the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And now we got other people involved on it as a result.
Now, you were talking, one of your big accounts or clients or hospitals these days, and how they're wanting to go sustainable, and they're putting in room service now. But as we were talking earlier, maybe elaborate on what's happening in the. It won't be so bad if we have to go to the hospital.
The healthcare industry is changed tremendously since I've been in the food service business for 30 years. They've moved more over to a fresh type of concept now. You're going to be able to get restaurant quality food ingredients, where a chef is not only conscientious about the ingredients, but he's more conscientious about the nutrition and availability, and getting people in healthcare a more viable a more closer to home, local type of product now. They've also gone sustainable. It's helped them out quite a bit because now they don't have to deal with cardboard. We reduce a lot of the contamination factors going in transferring because of cardboard. Monterey Peninsula, CHOMP, Community Hospital in Monterey Peninsula, totally on the sustainable program. Chef Chris gave us the opportunity to implement that program there as well as the Portola Hotel and Spa with Chef Danny Abruzzi and Chef Jason, who gave us the opportunity to move that program in there.
Fabulous.
And it's been successful. It's only growing because now we've expanded to hospitals in San Jose and that are taking on this program as well. So we're eliminating cardboard and we're packing a lot of our produce now in recyclable containers, and we pick them up, we sanitize them, and we re-deliver produce back into them the next day.
Fabulous. You have made being a chef so wonderful and colorful, and I can't wait to have you back again to tell us more about the beautiful things that you've provided.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Wendy.